All right, speaking of severe storms, let's talk about hail. We've had a lot of it over the last couple weeks. Usually one of the main threats that we end up tracking. This is when supercooled water gets refrozen in the atmosphere, but there's still a lot that we don't know about this type of weather. So the Insurance Institute for Business and Home Safety is helping lead the charge to better understand it by conducting annual field operations to gather data and help improve lab testing.
Dr. Ian Giammanco joins us this morning. Good to see you. You are the Institute's lead research meteorologist, so we appreciate your time. We appreciate all of everything that goes into it. Let's talk about hail formation. I mean, gosh, this morning, we've already put out some pretty big chunks of hail, given the fact that it's pre-dawn hours in Texas.
Yeah, hey, Britta, all right, good morning. Yeah, absolutely. We've already seen hail early this morning in some of those cells, even yesterday in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. Just sign of that note that it's that time of year. We can get hail out of all the different thunderstorm types, but it's always good to remember some of the big, giant, gargantuan hailstones. Those are going to come from those big rotating supercell thunderstorms that we have a risk for later today.
So what are you guys specifically researching? I know there is a decent amount that we know about hail. We know how it forms, but there are so many different situations. I feel like when I'm forecasting a severe storm, like nowcasting it, you can see some high reflectivity on radar, and you're like, maybe there's some hail in there, but you never really know how big it's going to be. It has a lot to do with the vertical. Yeah. What are we trying to move forward with learning about?
Yeah, Ari, one of the biggest challenges we have is forecasting the biggest hail size. That's a huge challenge we have, and we actually don't have a lot of skill in it. You mentioned it. We also don't have a way to detect that biggest hail size. We don't know which storm may produce giant or gargantuan hail versus a storm that may produce snowplow hail. We know the general environments that can support hail, but those precision forecast estimates, we just don't have a lot of skill. And that, again, controls, one, how impactful that storm's going to be, how much damage it's going to produce. And that's the goal of a lot of the work that started to go on over the last really 5-6 years, trying to improve the way we can detect and forecast hail.
So what are you guys specifically doing to conduct this research? I was just looking at a video on X of our buddy Mark Sudduth. He was out there literally with a
net.
He had a fishing net and he was catching hailstones. I've also seen some recent research where they're using these extremely bright lights to actually see the hailstones that are falling in the storm. Like what kinds of things are you guys doing?
Yeah, at IBHS, our focus is on how hailstones impact our buildings. What are the building materials that can withstand hail? What are the ones that can't? And so we test a lot of that in our laboratory facility, but we also go out to the field and want to make those measurements so the tests we're conducting are the best representation of natural hails we can make them. And so that's really the goal, is to understand the durability of our building materials to try to get a handle on what's become a $20–30 billion kind of hazard that happens now almost year after year.
Yeah, and you think about some of these areas that might not traditionally be known for large hailstones. I mean, yesterday, Canton, Ohio had an 1.25 inch hailstone. It's May in Canton, Ohio. So do you think there's, something to learn about maybe the occurrence of hail? Are we seeing changes in the last couple decades? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Britta, we've seen some kind of hints that the geography of hailstorms is changing a little bit as it shifts kind of north and then spreads out even further east of the Rocky Mountains into places like the upper Midwest, the Mid-Atlantic, things like that. But when we look at the days that we have severe hail, so the number of days with severe hail each year, those haven't shown much of a trend. But we're starting to see a little bit of signal that we're seeing larger hailstones. And this actually agrees with what we would expect from our climate modeling work, is that we may not see an uptick in the number of hailstorms, but we may see bigger hailstones that come out of those events.
All right, we got to run. Lead research meteorologist Dr. Ian Giammanco. Good seeing you, brother. It's been a couple of years since the last time we crossed paths. Thanks a lot for your insight. I appreciate it.